The idea of staying focused on a balcony view reflects the need to always take a look at the big picture. And you've done that as you studied the history and development of the school counseling program. Now you've had an opportunity to explore the domains in which students are served through school counseling, social, emotional, academic, and career. You've seen where school counselors work. You've taken a look at some of the ASCA documents, and all that pertains to that big picture. And the next big picture that we're going to be looking at, or the next balcony view that we're going to be taking a look at, is that of the ASCA National Model. And this is where that combination of having that big picture, that model from which to base and build your program is important. But this is where the school counselor additionally becomes the actor on the stage. It is each individual school counselor who implements a comprehensive developmental preventative school counseling program based upon the unique needs of their students and their schools. And many school counselors find themselves having a favorite area or something they feel better in, or even in some larger school counseling programs, different counselors might take on different skill sets or different parts of that program based upon their skills or their interests. On the next slide, you're going to see the ASCA diamond. And this is a black and white diagram that you might want to even switch to now. And it shows you the 4 components that you've already read about in Erford. Now, keep in mind, Erford was the 3rd edition, and we're dealing with the 4th. So, the 4 components that you're going to see on the next screen and learn more about are the define component, formerly known as foundation, the manage component, formerly known as management, deliver component, which was formerly known as delivery, pretty easy. And probably the biggest term change other than foundation to define is that of accountability to assess. And you'll notice in this diagram that these 4 components have arrows moving in and out because a school counseling program is fluid in that regard. You don't just simply define it and then move on. You constantly go back to make sure that your program is fulfilling the vision that you see for your students, that it reflects the mission, and that you're working both through those mindsets and behaviors for student success that you'll work through as you move forward in this module, but also practicing according to the standards of our ethical standards and the professional standards and competencies. So move to the next slide. And you will see this diamond that I've talked about, where some of the components of each are described. And then the rest of this module will focus on the define component, specifically the student standards. We will get to the professional standards later, but the student standards known as the ASCA Mindsets and Behaviors for Student Success, College and Career Readiness for All Students.